Another election, come and gone. Another round of media frenzy and hype. Another opportunity for backslapping and congratulating ourselves over the democratic process. We got caught up in it all for a while. We got heated, passionate, and it looked like we cared. I got caught up in it all. I checked off a name and slid a piece of paper into a box, and I congratulated myself on being free. But it felt empty. It felt empty then, and it feels empty now. Because see, I voted for change, but really I was just sold change, and I see that now. I bought into a prepackaged marketing campaign that tapped into my restlessness with the way we structure societies. I bought into a youthful voice that told me everything was going to be okay. I bought into a version of Canada that seemed energetic. It seemed like the place I wanted to live. They were selling, and we lined up and bought it with our votes like new iPhones. It's real change that was ready. I ate it up. But did I really get what I was promised? What I was looking for? Was there an option that even remotely resembled the sort of change that I actually crave? No, there wasn't. There isn't. There never has been, because the change I'm looking for doesn't exist in our current system. There's no room for that sort of change that I'm talking about. Look at the campaigns from this past election. It was all about saying yes or no to different preconceived ideas. Do we run a deficit or not? Do we vote for Bill C-51 or not? Do we fight in Syria or back away? It's all binary, just a set of switches within an already existing system, a group of levers to pull one way or the other that make small tweaks to the way our society operates. It sounds awfully like a machine, because it is. And our only options in this past election operated within that machine. This election was supposed to be historic, and it was in some ways. This election was supposed to ring in a new era, and it did in some ways. But I think we sold ourselves short. We were poised to vote for a bold new change, a bold new future, a chance to put people into office that were innovative, that were revolutionary. And instead, I think we just voted for a clever marketing campaign, a lot of the same old, just with more smiles. This isn't anyone's fault. There's no blame to be placed. How could we truly bring any real change when all it is asked of us is show up every 4 years? Put a piece of paper in a box? How could we really have a national conversation when all the subject matter is about is who we're going to outsource our democracy to? We voted for change, but in 4 years' time, where will we be? We asked for change, but in 4 years' time, if this doesn't happen, who will we blame? We're starving for change, but in 4 years' time, we still won't have a solution. Because for the next 4 years, we're going to pull and switch those levers and watch as nothing really happens. And then, if history repeats itself, we'll blame the men and women who switched the levers and made the decisions, instead of asking if this system is outdated and just doomed to fail. So I look around and I see a world that is changing so quickly. We learn so rapidly. We have access to incredible amounts of information and connections. This has changed the way we are entertained, changed the way we form relationships, changed the way we operate businesses. So why? Why in the world has this not changed our governments? To me, the most important thing is how we choose to structure society, and everything else follows after that. But as the world changes around us, we seem content keeping archaic societal systems put in place hundreds of years ago. Thomas Jefferson said that every generation needs a new revolution. It's been far too long since we've seen a revolution. And I see why. Revolution is scary, and for most of us, things aren't so bad, and the fear of failure is much more powerful than the dream of success. We have much to lose, but I challenge these fears because what we truly need is not a revolution, but an evolution. We are in need of collective innovation. We need to evolve our democracy to keep up with the changing social world. So let's start. Today, right here, right now, you and me. Because no one's going to come along with a perfect plan for everyone and then run for office. It's a fool's dream. Real change, change that is ready, is going to come from a continuous conversation that takes place out of an election cycle. Between you and me, between all of us. We can't sit idly and wait another 4 years to make an empty decision for change. We need to be the change we want to see. And the internet has given us new tools to converse. And these structures and this machine, it's malleable if we choose to change it. So instead of forgetting about issues of public concern for the next 4 years, let's use the tools to talk about big, bold ideas that are situated outside of current norms. How do we want to live? What is the collective picture of a perfect society? How do we get there? Those are hard questions, but conversations that need to happen and right now. Because how do we know what changes to make if we don't even know the desired outcomes? So I make a pledge, right here and now, to continue the conversation we started about change. I make a pledge to not let my voice be limited to a vote every 4 years. I make a pledge to dream big for this country and for the world. And I make a pledge to embrace new ideas and not be scared by their potential. I make a pledge to encourage others to I make a pledge to encourage others to continue their interest in issues in public concern. I make a pledge to embrace the power of an individual voice and to influence others to have their own voice heard. I pledge this because every 4 years is not enough. I pledge this because it will be this continuous conversation about issues of public concern that leads to fresh ideas that could truly transform our society. And I ask you to make this pledge with me, because together we can be the evolution towards real change, because we are ready.